Hey, what is happening, guys? It is Curtis, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. This is episode 10, and up here on this wall, I do have a bunch of signs to indicate some of the goals I want to have for this season. The very first one is Pigman Killer, which is just a zombie pigman farm. Number 2 is I want to reach the end. Number 3 is I want to make a working mob spawner. We do have a spawner somewhere off to the side. Number 4 is Elytra. Number 5 is full diamond armor. Number 6 is full enchantments on said armor. Number 27 is the Nether Roads, which essentially is connecting one portal to another in the Nether using an ice bridge for the boats to cross by very quickly. Next, I want to be able to make a creeper farm, which in turn will be used to make a fireworks shop, or at least fireworks storage, whether it be for flight rockets or for explosive rockets. I do want to collect some shulker boxes to be able to carry things around a lot easier. I do want to be able to acquire a beacon, which will require me to fight the Wither. I do want to collect all mob heads and music discs. Currently I have 5 music discs, and no mob heads currently, but 5 music discs, so that's where we're at right now. I do want to set up an aquarium, which will require one of each type of aquatic mob, and I do want to do buried treasure for my friends to find, which I think would be really cool, so I'm going to have to set up something for that. I do want to upgrade this village. Right now it's just kind of like a dirt wall surrounding the village, and there's like a couple cool things about it other than that. But that's about it. So I want to upgrade the village. I do want to make an ender pearl farm because those are very useful. I would like to make a tiny base, which would have like the bare necessities of survival, a super base which has everything you might need for survival. I do want to develop an actual storage system because right now this doesn't actually work very well. I do want to set up a sort of gladiator pit to fight people in. I think that would be a lot of fun, or maybe even mobs. This number 22, die, that's essentially I want to collect one of every type of colored item. So this would be wool, glass panes, concrete powder, terracotta, glazed terracotta. The cure would be curing a zombie villager. Next one is archaeology, which is finding one of every type of structure. I think the only one I need is the woodland mansion, so we're going to have to find that eventually. The next one is level up. Right now I'm level 2, so I want to make it up to level 100. And then the very last one is zookeeping, which is one of every type of mob, whether it be hostile, neutral, or passive, so we're going to have to get that figured out. Right now I'm going to go find the mob spawner, because I know there's one nearby, so let's go ahead and get that set up, I think. So I remember we had this down here, me and my friends found it. I don't remember what kind of mob spawner it is. I think it's zombies. Whatever it is that's inside of it's invisible, so let me see what it is. Okay, yeah, it is a zombie. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I'd only seen zombies down here before, but we didn't see any spawn when we were down here. So we're actually going to try setting this up as a sort of mob farm. It's not going to be set up as it normally would be. There's a couple ideas I have, so let's go ahead and throw this into a time lapse so we can do that. As you can see, I'm not setting it up exactly how I should for a mob spawner like this. I am making a whole lot more room in this area, and that's because eventually I do plan on expanding this to be able to handle other mobs as well, hopefully. So hopefully maybe we'll get some skeletons, some creepers spawning in an area around here so that we can get those into our kill chamber as well. And so I am clearing out a bunch of unnecessary area right now, but I do plan on using this area later. I just want to make that clear. The other day I was playing a server with some friends, and I had the same idea, and they got a little irritated with me because they thought I didn't understand what I was doing with this whole mob system, or mob farming system, and so I just want to make that clear before I do get started on this. And you can see before, I don't know if you guys saw that, but we're actually very close to the village. This spawner isn't too far away, and so it makes it very easy to come here and get all the goodies we need, whether it be experience, we need maybe rotten flesh for our clerics, maybe even some tridents if we can set it up to farm for some drowned as well. But for the kill chamber, I am going to need to go to the nether. I do need some magma blocks because otherwise I don't have a way to kill them while I'm AFK. So I am going to collect some magma blocks. We are going to need to set up some sort of system for collecting the items. I definitely don't need this many magma blocks, but you know, the more the merrier. I could use it for other things as well. And then I did end up getting stuck in this screen again with the building terrain, but so when I quit and I came back, I was able to set this up with a bunch of hoppers so that we can get this collection system going. The very first thing I tried was to just have the tracks like this, where hopefully it would have gone all the way around, but unfortunately that wasn't working, so I had to actually separate the track a little bit from the hopper so that we can get this working as intended. I did try to set the hopper minecart up there, but when I put it up there I wasn't able to move it, so I shot it with an arrow and then it disappeared, and I spent a good chunk of time trying to figure out where the heck it went. I still have no idea where it went. It wasn't on top of this, it wasn't inside any hoppers, so I'm honestly not sure. So I ended up having to go all the way back to the village just so I could make a whole new one and then bring it on back so I can get this all resolved. The minecart stayed, it just was the hopper that seemed to vanish for some reason. This time though, when I did put it on, I knew better, and so I set that up. The very final thing that I had to do was set up the water for the kill chamber. So I went in there and I just kind of threw down some water, hoping that this would work out very nicely. So now when any zombies go in there, they should be pulled down and the magma blocks should kill them, or at least that's the hope. So I took out some of these torches so that they would start spawning. I started getting attacked right away, but it was no problem. I took out the rest of the torches and went on my merry way. So now that we're down here, we can go ahead and see that the rotten flesh is already going into the chest, which is great. That means the farm is technically working. I do want to set up a sort of kill chamber because this sword does have looting on it, so I do want to kind of make it a lot easier for me to get certain things. After I saw that that was working, I carved a hole in the side so I would be able to access the zombies easier with a sword with looting. As we can see, we're able to now hit them with the looting sword, which yield some experience for us, as well as drop some more significant loot, like in that case the enchanted leather helmet. Eventually I would have to change this, the appearance of this again. As you can see, I ended up carving out quite a bit of it, added some lights, and so I was able to access them a whole lot easier. The only problem is the baby zombies were able to get through extremely easily because they're able to fit through this one by one gap, but if we take a look at what's going on in the chest, you can see that we're getting some very impressive loot. So let's go ahead and pause it real quick so you guys can see what's in this chest. So as you can see, we got some armor and some iron already, so as we continue on, we should be able to get some pretty interesting stuff from this. Another change that I added was that I added a little stone bottom instead of all magma cubes so that hopefully some drown start spawning. As you can see, we already got at least one in there, so we just have to let them wait there until they become a drown. And I found out that drowned automatically drop all the items they are carrying, which is extremely helpful, especially if one of the zombies spawns in wearing full armor. That would be incredibly useful. And then sometimes the drown will spawn with tridents, which is incredible as well. Alright, so after a bit of farming, I did end up with quite a bit of enchanted books, and I do have a trident in my inventory now. I am going to connect a bunch of these together because I want to make an enchanted trident. I think we can get some pretty cool stuff in here. I think this will allow me to get some mob heads too, especially if I add on that channeling enchantment. We're going to add a couple more. Loyalty, so it comes back, and then perfect. We got Impaling 3, Channeling 1, Mending 1, and Loyalty 1. So it'll come back to me, it'll strike lightning at mobs during a thunderstorm, which will be extremely helpful for getting charged creepers and ending up getting all the mob heads that we need. The only problem is I don't know if you need a charged creeper to get a wither skull. I'll have to do some research on that. If so, then that's going to make it a lot harder to get that, get the wither. But we'll see how that goes. In total, I think this farm was a huge success. If we go down here, we can take a look at what my final outcome was. We can see that we got quite a bit of stuff. Quite a bit of gold, quite a bit of iron, quite a bit of tools, and enchanted armor that I could use much, much later. But anyway, guys, remember, if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button and that notification bell to get notified for any upcoming videos. And if you're not already following, you can follow me on Twitter or support me on Patreon, both at Curtis Does a Dig. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.